You're listening to 90.4 Oman FM. It's Isma here. Welcome back to Muscat Candid. And today, we want to talk about the best ways to get a job. Why? Because I'm sure everybody needs it. Okay? So if you are a fresh graduate or you're looking for a change in career path, definitely this episode is for you. And today, Muscat Candid is hosting an expert. We have today with us Khawla Al Amri, the GM of HR in BIA. Khawla, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank
and
you.
hello to everybody.
All right, let's get to it. What's the job market like right now compared to the pandemic?
Actually, it's very selective. I mean, previous in the pandemic, we observed it was really very limited, very almost nothing.
Oh, yeah.
At that point of time, everybody was, yeah. But then now it's opening up. I can see lots of vacancies announced all over the OIA company, Oman Investment Authority companies, as well as the private sector, alhamdulillah. And we start to see also in the ministries, and it's coming up. It's coming up quite good, actually.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exciting news for us, for the economy, and for everybody who's looking for a job.
Yes, yes.
Now, how can candidates find the job position?
It's very important as now with the social media and everything, all the posts, it's on the advertisement. Actually, we have to announce them. We have to find if it's a fresh graduate, must be announced through the ministries, through the newspaper, social media, and other channels, communication channels. And there are other jobs that also there will be sort of a process of psychometric test and assessments going through. It will be sort of high level one. So there are certain channels we use for, depends on the job itself.
Could you specify the social media pages or outlets that someone can find job postings on them?
Actually, now everybody's looking at LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And also we have Omanis who have channels on Instagram and all these. And some of the recruitment agencies, and they do announce the positions. As well in OIA, we have internal intranet and websites. We do announce in all our website. If it's internal, it's going to be in the intranet. But if it's external, which is for the whole public, is going to be definitely in all companies' websites and definitely in the LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to get a little technical. All right. What can a candidate do, or what should a candidate do before applying for a job?
Actually, the CV is becoming every day is more updated and enhanced. You sort of match the job request to your CV. So they definitely, you have to inject what you have to match that's what we do as a recruiter as well. We see the people who are matching the profile of the candidates with the job description we have and how they are matching. So so what I'm advising the guys, so the girls and to please review the JD and try to enhance your CV reflecting what is required for that, specifically that job.
Would you say like customizing a CV
Yes.
for every job position?
Yes.
Yeah?
To
For every-
increase the chance for your selection, tell you the truth, yeah.
When a candidate is applying for a job, how can a candidate stand out from the crowd?
We're looking in the JD for a specific competencies, qualification, and if it's an experience, we're looking for certain words or certain things, certain experience. So if that person or that profile match what we are looking for, it will stand out. CV is the first impression of any we don't know you, we just saw your CV, so it has to be attractive, very not so detailed, but maximum of 2 pages and covering the required job.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So if someone is looking for a job, right, how can we, or how can a candidate avoid fake job postings? And are those real?
I don't think in Oman there are really fake posting. But what have happened in the past, especially in the pandemic, and also lately, there was sort of restrictions on the budget. So previously we announced a position, then there was a sort of a shred on the budget, so we stopped or we freezed that job.
Okay.
That's why some people think really it's a fake job. It's not a fake job. Or there's internal candidate and we just fakely present it. There's certain very clear now rules and regulation policies that to reserve the rights for the company and for the community and other applicants. So, at a certain point of time, there was sort of a freeze of jobs. But it wasn't fake, but it was a restriction of budget and financial aspects.
You also mentioned something interesting. You said that sometimes, they will have an internal candidate, but still post a job.
Yes.
How can we know that this job is already kind of meant for somebody else, even though it's posted there and it's ready for application or to receive applications?
It is subjected to two things: the policies and regulation of that company and the Ministry of also Labor and the authority that the company is under in. It's now, the regulation is very clear. Internal means internal within the company and within, for instance, an authority. And the company is reporting to it. So you can't announce that position outside at all. Okay. So it's meant for internal and it's exclusive. External, we go external only subjected that we know for sure that there is no candidate or it's a unique position. We know for sure. And if we also consumed all efforts having a person internally and we couldn't, so we announce it also outside. That's how's the process right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say a candidate is trying to negotiate a salary.
Yeah.
Right. What's the best ways to approach it? Let's say in an interview.
Actually, the entrance level, usually every company have a restricted sort of a compensation structure salary, which is start from the minimum to mid and to the max.
Okay.
So for each position, there's a budget. And for instance, the fresh graduate, when they come, there's this, and it goes across the whole company. You cannot have difference between one person. But you are absolutely right when you said you can negotiate when you start going to a senior level, executive more level.
Yeah.
But even now, it's very limited because we have certain policies and regulation. You go with the minimum. If you want to negotiate, there's a certain percentage. You go up to that, and you have to sort of prove or know that this job is higher profile than the job he has left on the previous company. Yeah. And the title and the job description are higher. So you can certainly, I'm just giving example of authority because we are, BIA is one of them. So it can vary from 10% to 20%, subjected to the seniority, the uniqueness, if it's available, not available, all these aspects.
So you're, in short, you're trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I'm understanding, is that if you're on an entry level, it might be a little harder to negotiate a salary. However, if you're with, a senior, applying for a senior position, or your experience is a bit higher, you come from somewhere that, your level was in a certain grade, then it's a bit easier for you to go, okay, maybe 10 to 20%.
Yeah, but subjected, it's a really higher position and higher responsibility than your previous. And there are certain rules, different rules, which is if you are belong to OIA, there's certain, if you are an external, certain way of negotiating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for all the information.
Thank you.
It was straightforward. You're like, okay, it's this, it's that.
Sorry.
No, it is perfect. You're perfect. I want to ask you about about you as in, you work in HR. How long have you been in HR?
Oh, my life.
Yeah?
I don't know if it's a blessing or something else. Actually, I worked around 18 years in HR all my life.
Wow.
I started as a lecturer in Majan University College. And then I went to my mother company. Until now, I call it Umantel. And from Umantel, I was a normal recruiter, and I reached, alhamdulillah, a senior manager when I left, an acting director as well of planning and change management transformation. So Umantel, when I say it's my mother, because I have witnessed to the separation of Umantel and Oman Mobile.
Okay.
And I witnessed the merge of Umantel and Oman Mobile. And for a young person who is really highly and very passionate about HR, it's a very beautiful experience that you learn from in no time. Yani. And you know, telecom is the most advanced sector. Then I went the most hard, which is Oman Dry Dock in Duqm. I was a bit challenging because I was the only female there.
That's insane.
In management, as a head of HR, but I really enjoy it. It gives me really so proud of myself and so proud of this country. And I have made an effort, and we were in a caravan and we reach a level where you can see those forklift operators on the desert, and everything is, you know, very modern, the best dry docks, and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And then I went to BIA, Oman Environmental Services Management Holding Company, as also head of HR. And I love HR, tell you the truth. Sometimes I get a bit, you know, down when, you know, HR job, it's really quite not easy, but I love it. You know, I
What do you love about it so much?
Dealing with people.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it gets into your skin, but sometimes it's just you believe in it and you believe you can make a difference and an impact on people and the way they are thinking. And you get to learn from each personality and each company and different industry.
Yeah.
You know, when I went to university, they used to say, oh, HR, nothing, they don't study anything, you know.
They study the people.
and I'm really seriously, and I was really wondering one day when I was in Mantel, why my boss, and he was Canadian, every weekend he goes on a trip outside, like he go to Musira or Musandam. This. Now I realized you need to let out, you need to vent, and you have to recharge and calm people.
Yeah.
And that's why I become more passionate about it. And every time I feel I'm doing something positive, every time I feel down, I get up by getting inspired by people, reading more, getting update of what's happening around the world. And it's really fascinating how HR have boomed from an administration to human capital, people and culture. Well-being becomes a trend. It's a must function in HR, whereas the mental and physical well-being is an important thing, and the company has to work-life balance, freedom, independent, treating generation differently. Each generation have different ways, and I'm learning, and I love it. I really love it and passionate, and that's why also I reach where I want to be, also having an impact and influencing in coaching, in training, and I do these things. That's why you see me then on social media. I try to enhance the positiveness and the motivation of people to look at things differently. Yeah.
What is the best way or the best attitude a candidate can have in an interview? And this would be like the last question for this one.
It's the smile, the way they enter, the way they sit, the way they dress, the questions, and the confidence. It's okay not to know, especially with a fresh graduate. We don't expect them to know everything, and they are starting up. But it's good to be themselves, just relax, try to practice in a mirror and in front and ask. I believe always when you ask yourself different questions and in a mirror, you become more hard on yourself than really in the interview panel.
Yeah.
Because we tend to be hard on judging ourselves more.
Yes.
Even me, if I go outside and I start hearing this interview, oh, I should have done that, and I should have done that, and I should have done that. The same, you judge yourself so much. But when you go to the interview, it's good to go with a smile, confident, be very, and you can answer things that you don't know. Well, it's a very good question. I think I haven't really looked at it, or I can Google it. I would love to know more about it. Maybe in the end you could help me on that, or ask to rephrase the question in simple way. The candidate can do that. So there are different ways to escape from questions asking.
But practicing in the mirror is important.
It's very important. I know it's very hard.
Yeah, sure.
I think, yeah. But after a certain time, it's like when you started your job, everything becomes easy after that. Yeah.
Thank you, Khawla, so much for your time today. I had so much fun, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Inshallah, I enjoyed it so much as well, Asma. Thank you for making it also funny, happy, and very friendly.
Oh, thank you.